out.
Yeah, they're just flying through it because they know they have to redo these guys, just locking them in and out because they are locked into the exact same team comps. What are they going to change with the way they play? Because that game was CLG jumping in on top, which allowed them to stall like that.
It was that crazy level 1 fight that helped them on to start with, and of course that the invades came in. Are they going to do the same sort of thing? How do you reset yourself in these things? I mean, CLG have talked about you cannot give up that level 1 fight. They feel they're going to push the pressure. How are WE going to react to it? Are we going to see Nocturne being a lot more aggressive when it comes to the lane phase? He didn't really get involved so much. There's so many factors that are going to play into it. The fact that they've gone with the same picks, it's going to play into their minds. Oh, this didn't work out last time.
I can't really wait to see when we get into this game because, man, the Nocturne ganks early, he fell behind. He was not able to really land any team fight starting ultimates the whole game. Now that we've reset, if he doesn't get the buff stolen, they missed the Smite War with that 4v3 invade early on in the game. If he has a clean jungle, if he gets to level 6 cleanly, this could very well be a different game.
Just one other thing is watching these teams, will they be more reserved based off of the playstyle, specifically WE of CLG? I think to me that's one of the interesting things I'll be watching out for as we go into this game.
Well, we know that CLG are going to go tanky. They're going to stall it. God help us if they go 60 minutes. Because my voice can last it, no problem.
You can do it.
I'm feeling well oiled
taking care of yourself so
far.
Good, yeah. Drinking a lot of tea.
That's it. It's all about the tea. The tea in the morning, ladies and gentlemen, that's what keeps the ticker going. Just coin an English phrase. But ladies and gentlemen, we are finally getting underway. If you would like to see Team WE come back from effectively the grave and get themselves back into this one, can they take it 2-1? Give them a cheer, ladies and gentlemen. They have been through a gauntlet for you guys.
Most importantly, CLG.EU takes us out. Do you want to see them come through these 5 games and get this series to a conclusion? Let's hear it for CLG.EU.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you can see it on your screen. We are into the game and finally things are getting underway. Let's hope for the last time in the quarterfinals, because I don't think anyone here will be able to handle another remake. Let's put it that way. So, 20 seconds in, chat. Are we going to see any crazy invades? We saw it the first time around. They're going to come in.
Right here.
Snoopy's going to try and put that ward in. Oh, and they're not going to be visible. They do, though. They shoot. They blind shot it, and they found someone there.
That was potential disaster averted there. I thought maybe they'd try a rupture over the wall, but they clearly had no vision. Usually when an early level 1 gets spotted out like that, they get a little bit confused and have to resync their strategy. Who has the best strategy caller? Are they able to pull this off? It looks like they're really cautious early on here. WE all waiting inside the race. It's almost like they're waiting for CLG to walk around so they can surprise someone and trying to steal it. Here comes CLG.EU around. They're in a ward.
They're in a ward, and they're going to walk around blindly. Crepo's going to come around first. They're going to start the fight off. They do have to burst the flash out. I didn't see who it was. I think it was Snoopy had to use the flash out, which means it's not going to be as adaptive when it comes to trying to get a gank earlier on in the lane phase immediately. That gives them a big difference to how the first game went. Firstly, they got the blue buff to start with. They managed to get the smite fight, and this time they've not been able to even get the rates.
And actually, we're seeing standard start, neither team actually doing a delayed invade, so it's almost like their strategies have been spent here. Standard start for both of them, and I wanted to see this for Clearlove, whether he's going to be able to get the good jungle going and start his ganks off, because in the game, a couple games back where he played Nocturne, we don't have a labeling system yet for this crazy set. In the game where he's ahead, that CLG eventually overstalled and came back in, he was very strong early, and this time they have stronger initiation, so if they get that kind of lead again, they should be able to finish it.
Unbelievably, ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, yes, CLG.WE is still going. You've not managed to miss the schedule. The schedule that's out there, you guys have been following those Reddit schedules. Insanity's been doing a fantastic job. You're not following the wrong schedule. This is still the quarterfinals. We are yet to get the semifinals underway. For those who are tuning in expecting to see M5 BenQ versus Taipei Assassins, or even a Zubu Frost versus someone right now, I think we're around about that stage. Then you are not looking at the wrong game. However, Red Buff Steel is possibly coming in here. CLG, again, this is what they did the first time around. managed to get in there. The rupture comes through, resetting. Who got the steal?
Snoopy had Smite for it.
Snoopy managed to get it. Chow Mei now in trouble here. He's going to have to back away. The rupture's going to come through. He just sidesteps through, but isn't to the death. The ignite goes down. The health shot, no. The mystic shot missing from Yellow Pete. And Chow Mei will back away from this one. They're going to have a clean advantage in this top lane. And the lanes actually are the same as before. This time, though, they've switched it up earlier. So Wicked is not going to have that advantage. This time he's level 1 going into Wei Zhao at level 2.
And big thing here early, they got the level 1 damage on it, Chow Mei. They're trying to shut down the tower now. ClearLove trying to get in here for experience. He's very afraid that CLG.EU is going to try some kind of dive, so he's not actually able to get the minion kills. He's just able to get the experience, and CLG taking huge chunks out of that tower, and he's actually going in for a bit of harass, just trying to keep the damage off the tower. Nocturne's going to hit 6 fast because he just stole a bunch of experience from that lane.
Yeah, and they needed to as well. They need to try and help out and really push that turret down. I think they want to get Yellow Pete and the Crepo down that bottom lane against Wei Zhao as quick as possible, because Wicked is going to have troubles until he starts getting those levels up early. And luckily for Wicked, though, they are continuing to shove. Wei Zhao is trying to do the exact same thing in that bottom lane. He's trying to get that tower down as quick as possible. So this could be a much faster game.
At least from an early tower perspective, both these teams really trying to mirror each other with their strategies. A bit more counter jungling coming out from Snoopy, but he's not going to be ahead of ClearLove just because of the lane experience he gained top. The main issue for them now is actually Chow Mei and whether he's going to be completely starved, because getting sent back like that at level 1 is extremely difficult to come back from. Looking down here at the bottom lane, Wicked expending all of his health potions already. So if they get some more harassment down, he will have to go back, and then they could potentially catch up on tower damage.
So Snoopy taken down. Oh, look at this. We're seeing an invade, actually. ClearLove. Well, he's going to come round. Blue buff is obviously gone. He's going to come around. He's going to find Crepo. Is he going to be able to sneak in there? Are they going to put the pressure down? We're going to see Chow Mei on that top lane. Snoopy's coming around the bottom. He's going to force Wei Zhao around, actually dodging it. Meanwhile, at the top there, Crepo's going to get dodged on. Crepo's going to be first blood, that's for sure. Who will pick up it up? He's managed to get the flash. It is going to be ClearLove that picks up the first blood. Now what they're going to go on towards Wei Zhao down the bottom there. Wicked's going to get exhausted, though. They're not going to have the damage on the bottom lane. So immediately, we're seeing a difference. Team WE get first blood.
I have to say that was a rare error by Crepo. If he would have flashed at the very start of that gank, he probably would have been safe. He was waiting to flash after the CC, but it lasted so long that by the time he flashed, he was pretty much already dead. So that's a good comeback. The biggest issue WE had there was to get Chow Mei back in the game. They just did that with the Nocturne gank, and also ClearLove getting the kill. This is going to have a huge presence early on in this match.
Oh, Froggen taking a burst from Messiah. There's a lot of differences. ClearLove's going to come around the side. I think he's going to queue across onto Froggen here just to stop him trying to teleport back. Nope, left it too late. Not going to go for it instead. Is he going to push for that turret? Or is he going to try? He's maybe trying to set up for Snoopy here. Snoopy's now coming towards that mid lane, and ClearLove's coming around mid lane. You can see they're going to dive onto it. Felix goes down. That's going to be the rise. ClearLove's tanks it up enough, but I think Messiah should be able to get it. Oh my god! Snoopy flashes through and manages to turn the tables with Messiah tanking it up. I do not believe he just pulled that off.
Not only did he flash out of kill range from Messiah, he finished off the blind rupture first off to get him in the brush, and then to flash perfectly. That was one of the most clutch single individual moments I have seen all tournament.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. He was dead bang to rights there. Messiah just needed one more basic attack to finish it off. And he turned around, he backed away. I think they wanted to give the kill to ClearLove. ClearLove backed away as well. They just assumed he was already dead. 6.5 minutes gone. And well, CLG handed a gift there by this absolute superb skills of Snoopy.
And even with that, it's still an 800 gold advantage for WE. So where is this mainly coming from? We look, there's 48 minions on WX Wei Zhao and only 30 on Yellow Pete. So once again, last game was the only one where Yellow Pete seemed to have the advantage. Right now, Wei Zhao is really just pushing it home. They are in separate lanes, but because of that gank top lane, Yellow Pete got set back, and Wei Zhao's just been free farming away.
Free farming away indeed. So once again, he is in that lead. We are seeing the Tear of the Goddess coming out. Oh wow, an early dragon here for Team WE. 7 minutes into the game. This would, I think, be the earliest dragon we've seen all tournament. So Team WE pulling on all the stops here against CLG.EU. CLG completely unprepared for this one. And we are just seeing Froggen simply moving to pick up the blue buff. They are not in any situation to deal with that.
And even if Froggen hadn't decided to pick up the blue, that's the danger you initially run into when you send 2 top and the other team has 2 bottom. They just have more people down there. And the ward control simply wasn't there since Snoopy had spent so much time with that amazing play mid. It was just a matter of W reacting at the right moment, realizing the positioning of the map, and just taking that early advantage.
So Wicked now up to level 6, he has that ulti available and has actually done a good job of managing to keep himself in here against Weezhao. Weezhao is going to get that free farm on though, but Wicked is doing a very good job at keeping up here. 34 to 27, so technically Event ahead in that 2v1 lane compared to his compatriot up the top there, Chow Mei on Aurelia.
And Wicked has done a fantastic job keeping up with that 2v1 lane. In the last one, he was 92 when Corki was 92 as well. So very skilled 1v2 laner Wicked is. I mean, he has all that practice. Oftentimes, Cho'Gath coming around, actually. They get the ult!
This is exactly what we saw last time around. This time, they did manage to get away from it. Valkyrie comes out. He's going to get the rupture reset. By the time they get in there, they've give up on it, though. This is what they did last time. They forced them back, and then they went for the dragon. I'm not even sure they're aware that the dragon's already been taken.
They haven't actually walked by that spot to get vision of it, so they are completely oblivious to the Dragon Timer. WE could very well get the second one off of just the lack of knowledge CLG has. That gank was so close to being executed, but Weezhao able to Valk away, and this is actually close to a 2,000 gold advantage, growing fairly quickly. They're doing a very good job early game, and this is much different than the previous one.
Yeah, Weezhao really is farming like a champion in that bottom lane. 70 CS now about to pass by. Meanwhile, you can see Yellow Pete only just hitting 50. Mid lane is definitely a small advantage for Froggen. Not a huge difference though. And Messiah definitely looking a little bit more confident. We're seeing Clearlove once again coming round. That ball was there from Froggen. Kind of full on vision here. Is he going to go round? And we're seeing
wants
Clearlove
to dive with his ult.
That's the bottom turret taken down already by Weezhao. Clearlove is looking like he's going to try and come around the backside of Froggen there. The ultimate comes in. Froggen's very much ready for that one. Flashed away. He could be able to turn this into a kill. Clearlove having to burn his flash. He knew the danger. If that ball would have landed, he would have ulted him back.
He may have just stayed alive though because his mana was so low that he might not have been able to combo through. A little print on that slash. He'd failed a tower dive earlier, giving that kill to Snoopy. With that flash down on Froggen though, it's happened before on Nocturne. You ult someone once they flash away. Your ult comes up before their flash. If he gets the cooldown around and CLG.EU is not ready for it, they're going to be able to turn that kill around on a Froggen once that Nocturne ult is back alive.
Froggen continues to poke. Very much a much closer game. And honestly, from the team fights in the last game, despite the fact they built so tanky, are they going to go the same route? We're already seeing a different build from Wicked. He's gone for that heart of gold early on. So you can see Snoopy going for the GP10 items early on. Definitely different item stacking coming out here because they just didn't get that early level 1 team fight.
They're really needing to keep up in gold because the Dragon went to WE, the first turret went to WE, and a 3,000 gold advantage this early onto a game is actually a huge amount of power increase. WE now sent their 2 men up top. They don't have to worry about the Dragon for another couple minutes. They're going to try to shut this tower down. I wouldn't be surprised if Nocturne comes to that top lane and tries to get another turret down. Bot lane, Aurelia, Chow Mei looking around Wicked, really just trying to farm at this point. CLG very much in full stall here, and WE actually in fast push mode.
Ezreal just true shot barrage that top lane to keep them back on Weezhao there. Remember, they did put a lot of damage down on that top lane turret. Meanwhile, it is Aurelia and Wicked. So how is that lane going to pan out? 57 minions to 54. Wicked's going to know how Chow Mei plays Aurelia. He's already seen it. He's already seen it in one full match. He's had 60 minutes to study him. And how do you feel is going to be the difference for Wicked here? He went very tanky in the first game. Is he going to go for a little bit more damage this time around?
The Malphite Aurelia lane is actually very much a farm fest. Anytime Aurelia wants to engage in a Malphite, he trades with a lot of burst with his Seismic Shard and his Ground Slam, and then he can just walk away because he's stolen enough movement speed. Wicked knows this, and that's why he picked the Malphite up against Aurelia. You can't really shut each other down in that lane. It's very much just a trade, and a bunch of damage coming down up top. Look at Weezhao!
Oh, he misses the crescendo, actually. He managed to Valkyrie past the crescendo. He saved himself, though. Weezhao gets knocked back. Can Yellow Pete finish him off? He flashes through. He should be able to get the kill on towards Weezhao. Yes, he does. It's Snoopy that picked it up, though. I think they wanted Yellow Pete to finish that one off. But Crepo incredibly survives despite the crescendo being Valkyried over.
I think he actually got the dance from the Valkyrie because when he got there, he was still CC'd for a little while, but it finished off the jump, and that's what allowed them to turn it. Also, Snoopy being in the right place at the right time. Once again, those 2 turnarounds have been razor thin, and it's really what's keeping CLG in this game.
Meanwhile, you can see Messiah is actually stealing away the Wraiths. So ping's going down. I think they're aware of it, but they want to take this turret down. Yellow Peak keeping the damage down. Clearlove's going to push in. The Aphelios going off there. Does manage to just keep them back, but CLG want to get this turret down. They need to try and force the pace here. Remember, the Dragon already went down at 7 minutes. CLG, there's just 40 seconds on that timer. CLG are not going to be aware of that one, so Team WE could well shape up for the next fight.
The trouble with this is they have 3 members up top. Weezao has went back to farm. Nocturne is running down. He has his ultimate once again. Froggen's flash nearly back, but the mid lane gank does not seem like a distinct possibility here. They're working towards it, but it would have to be a very risky sneak here just because Weezao is up farming that top lane on Corki. CLG.EU must know that it's coming up soon at this point, or not soon, but when it does come up, they should have the vision of it and they'd be able to adapt. They have the 2 members up there. Who knows? Maybe WE will be able to take it.
WE pinged it. They just said, look, Yellow Pete and Crepo are up the top there. They know it. And there is the Dragon spawn. WE completely on top of the situation. CLG totally unaware of it. It does mean that CLG will be able to push that top lane down. They should be able to take it out. Weezao has gone up there to cover it off. And they are going to try and protect that turret. Looks like Froggen's going to go walking. He's going to go for the Wraiths there. Maybe try and catch someone out. But that is another second Dragon for Team WE.
Weezao having to be
their goal difference.
Weezao having to be very cautious in this top lane. The tower's low. The crescendo will be up in a couple seconds. He may have to concede this. He wants to hold the tower, but he may not be able to. If CLG can take this down, that's going to negate the Dragon, and that's a good job by CLG.
Yeah, they do. They managed to pick up the first turret of the game for CLG, and it's still a 3k goal difference. So CLG chasing it this time, and it is a pretty big CS difference. It's a 20 CS gap already for Weezao. Holding out really against Yellow Pete. Very much proven he is a very strong farmer in that AD lane.
Only in the game where he got killed at level 1 by Yellow Pete was he ever behind, and even by the end of that game he had outfarmed him. Really world-class farming here by Weezao. Sticking around on Corki. Janna actually roaming around a fair bit. He's going to be going for that Trinity Force early. Looks like Yellow Pete is going in the same direction. One more Doran's Blade for Weezao. That's going to give him a bit more dueling capabilities. The main thing they have to worry about here is they have the advantage. They're going to try to dive things. Their pushes have been repelled a little bit. They've gotten the 2 dragons. Their gold advantage. Here they come. They got 4 on top. That's going to be a second tower, but they really are turning it up a bit this game, it seems.
They have had to back off from that one. I think Yellow Pete read the situation very well there. Saw that Messiah was heading up there. They're going to try and turn the situation in their own favor though and try and take this middle turret. Froggen is going to have the damage there towards Clearlove instead. Crepo's there as well. They could catch out. They went for the ultimate on Messiah. That's going to be the crescendo across. Messiah's going to flash away, but there is Yellow Pete's true shot barrage. Ripped him apart, and that is a good kill. And CLG.EU managed to turn that one in their favor. They're in a delicate situation because the rest of Team WE were heading down.
Messiah just forgetting the ball and did not realize the imminent danger of walking over top of it. Great turnaround comboing all their CC. That's what we thought they were going to do last game, but they never really decided to initiate it. We saw the start of it here. Kind of lulled Messiah into thinking he was safe. Really crisp execution by CLG.EU.
And Wicked down the bottom lane is actually putting a lot of damage down on this turret. You can see Weezao's going to get down here eventually. Is it going to be too late? Will Wicked be able to just stand here and tank it down? Yes, he will. That's going to be another turret, and that's all square now in turrets. 2-2, and the gold advantage slowly but surely is clawing back to CLG. Just 2,000 difference now.
The lanes have actually broken down a fair bit too. We see Xiaomei coming mid. He's now been in all 3 lanes to farm. Overall, he's actually going onto Froggen with a bit of aggression. Here comes the Nocturne ult!
Nocturne ult diving on towards Froggen. He's managed to get into the tower, and that's caused for Clearlove to go very, very deep. The silence not quite landing though. The ball might be able to pull him back. Yellow Pete is there as well. Gonna lay the damage down, but Clearlove will back away from that one. And CLG.EU wisely not following. They realize the rest of Team WE are here. Weezao, meanwhile, is down that bottom lane, continuing to push, continuing to free farm. CLG have to deal with it. True Shot Barrage goes across, forces them back. They might be able to catch out. They do. FCZF had to flash away, and that was a really good rune prison there from Messiah, forcing them to not follow.
It seems like WE is actually not fighting frequently enough for Clearlove's ganks to work, because every time he pops a Nocturne ult, someone is jumping away with the flash. They need to be able to force those summoners out so those ganks can be successful. CLG.EU doing a very good job, like always, of avoiding the conflict they don't want. With all this though, 3rd turret for WE, and this game is actually have a bit of a frenetic pace.
It does. It's a much faster game. 17 minutes gone. 3-1 the score for CLG.EU. very much the same as before though, but they are behind in gold and the towers are falling very quickly. Yellow Pete at the top lane, back in that farming session, he's going to try and keep up, but every time Wei Zhao is off in a lane farming away. These fights are always happening without Wei Zhao.
And what's going to happen when he finally does join them? He's been farming for so long, gets the Phage and the Sheen, he's on his way to a Trinity Force. No big aura items coming out yet. In the last game, Wicked did rush that Frozen Heart and allowed them to take a lot of mid-game objectives, but he's went instead for that Heart of Gold. He's still going that way, but he's getting there much, much slower, thanks to the 2v1 lane that was shutting him down a bit earlier. So, all of that being done, still 3 turrets. Dragon's got to be coming up shortly. Will we actually see a fight?
Will we actually see a fight? I think we might do. Morgan is just going to get that little poke back and forward. The crowd's still cheering the ward kills. Would you believe it? We're in a different game, ladies
Old habits die hard.
Oh, FCZF's going to get it. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. That's the sort of day it's been. You know, it started off, the sunlight was on my back. I was actually really warm, but now I'm quite glad I've got this jacket on. It's getting pretty cold. It's been a long day, and we've got another 2 semifinals to go today.
And really, this is the first game of the day. The semifinal between Moscow 5 and Taipei Assassins is coming up after this for you guys waiting. But obviously, what's at hand? $75,000 in the line, a place in the semifinals, and man, so much relief is going to come from the victors in this one.
Absolutely, but they're not going to have too long to celebrate because they're going to have a Zubu Frost waiting for them, and a Zubu Frost must be milking up the action. The fact that they are going to come up against a really battle-worn team, is it going to give them an advantage? So that is the question. I mean, the battle-worn team, they've played 5 very high-paced games. I say high-paced in the best sense that they're professional, not in the pace that they're played. Oh, God.
The crowd goes wild. This would be a good way of keeping count. Just every time the Vuvuzela goes off, you check 1 and that's
a ward's gone. Yeah, exactly. As it is, though, CLG.EU, they are into that farming stage. We can see similar builds coming out once again from CLG.EU. They are definitely in a similar situation. Looks like Ezreal, Yellow Pete will be going for Bloodthirst. So this is the first time CLG looking like they want to fight for this dragon. They don't have a Oracle available, so they can't clear out those wards that they are clearly stood on. So Team WE well aware of the situation. They know the dragon up. Pink ward just got sneakily put in that back corner. That's going to be giving them a good vision of the dragon, and again, they're just going to use this. They want to try and push this middle turret out, try and take advantage, and that would take it to all square 3-3 turrets. Janna's going to try and shield it up, try and protect them. Cleanup's going to clear out that wave, and Team WE just defending it.
We may see this dragon go down here. They're poking back. At the very least, we'll see a trade of the mid tower for the dragon, but actually, WE backing off a bit here. They realize that they are down in kills and that CLG has a very strong team fight phase here. This is almost just the siege, the exhaustion, the tiredness that they're trying to create onto the enemy. CLG, all 5 in mid, they've grouped up many times here in this series and just slowly siege down a turret. WE not that good at getting onto CLG.EU. The counter initiation could very well come out. If Nocturne flies in, Malphite and Orianna will counter, and now they're all walking towards this dragon. They have no oracles, so WE has complete vision, but they saw Wei Zhao up there, and they're just going to try to rush it down.
They do. Wei Zhao's desperately heading south, and you can see them coming across. Janna manages to throw a ward straight in there. They have, of course, got oracles of their own. They are going to take the dragon completely uncontested there. Wei Zhao was out of position. He just decided to carry on farming.
They caught him in a bit of a habit there. They knew the big lane was going to be up there. He had to go up if he wanted the experience and the gold from that. He's been farming so much off on his own. He's now 50 minion kills ahead of Yellowstar. But at what cost is that coming to his team? Because they just lost their first dragon of the game. They've given the other 2. Ezreal check Baron. That could have been a very early sneak. WE looking to try to do that in the earlier game. CLG.EU always catching onto them. But now, WE did have the early advantage. And we're repeating ourselves here, but it looks like they're going to be able to stall this one out. I'm just saying what I see. It's just what is happening. I'm sorry, guys. CLG.EU, you can blame them if you don't like their style of play. It's nothing if not consistent.
Well, one thing's for certain, the sun's not going to be in their eyes anymore. It's definitely gone down. It's been one of those long, long days, and CLG.EU really dragging the game out. But it's how they work, it's what they do, it's how they play, and they are very successful in what they do. Wei Zhao again heading south. They're going to try and catch out Wicked here. He may be able to catch him in a 1v1. He's got a long way to go. He's had to use his ultimate to get away with it, and the flash along with that Valkyrie to chase. So Wicked is going to be pretty much down for the next minute and a half.
And it's these windows that WWE has not been able to capitalize on. The Nocturnals always run into flash, and you look at everyone on CLG.EU, and the only flash they've managed to force is that Wicked just right there. So even though he did extend that to get away, it doesn't seem like the pacing of WWE's teamfights is going to be able to create any kind of lasting punishment for Wicked for doing that. They are still trying to push down those side turrets, but once they've gotten the first tier, I haven't even seen them that close to a second tier. It's a matter of them just getting pushed off and stalled out by CLG.EU, because that's just what they've been doing so well, and yet to be in this 5-game series, WWE hasn't solved that problem.
So CLG still with the ever so slight advantage in terms of kills. Snoopy just stalling the lane out. They really want to get the farm on towards Yellow Pete here. They're 2,000 gold difference. Still the tower advantage with Team WE from China against the European conglomerate of CLG.EU. If you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, we are into the third match. I say the third match in the loosest sense. It's effectively the 5. We've had 2 remakes. And, well, CLG.EU certainly looks strong in the final variants of this game. With the same picks, of course. Wicked's going to pick up a chunk of farm here. They're going to try and collapse it around. Just looking at the mini-map here, Wicked's going to get pressured, but CLG.EU are definitely moving around here. I'm looking at the rest of Team WE. They're going to try and close in on the backside. They realize the flash is down, the ultimate is down currently on Wicked. Unstoppable Force just become available. However, CLG are going to cover him off. They are going to protect it.
And now they have a very, very beefy Snoopy. He's managed to get all 6 feast stacks. So that's also another thing. When you're not team fighting, he can use that feast on recharge, and he's gotten full size actually very quickly. The windows haven't mattered. You can actually see Malphite's ultimate already back up for Wicked. So few engagements coming down. It's really just playing into CLG.EU's hands once again. There's the ward kill. There's the fans. And now they're running up mid to maybe take a tower.
Ooh, if they cheer a ward, what will they do when a tower goes down? That is the question. I think they will go a little bit mental. As it is, though, Wicked is just continuing to farm in that bottom lane. Chow Mei is continuing to farm in the top lane. Would you believe it? They really are stalling the game out.
They really are, and it's a 50 minion kill advantage for Froggen to counteract the 60 that Wei Zhao has on Yellow Pete. Well, it's about 54 in all actuality, but it's just the damage from Froggen, the team fighting. They played this game before, because even though they had a 5,000 gold advantage last time, and it's 2,000 down this time, when you consider that they were able to take the last one to 60 minutes, they're going to try the same thing again. It might happen unless WE does something to change the pace, because CLG.EU is playing exactly the same, and WE still doesn't have an answer. Standing ovation from a couple people in the crowd here.
Ovation for a ward kill. Would you believe it? FCZF getting caught out a little bit there. Another ward gets placed, ladies and gentlemen. They might go for this one. Oh, Yellow Pete picking up a ward. Good lord, am I really commentating that? Anyway, bottom lane is going to be pretty much even. So the lanes at the moment are very much even between the two. Snoop has found another